Greetings and welcome to the Introduction to Astronomy. In this week's exploration of the solar system, we will talk about the Chandrayan-1 spacecraft and its exploration of our moon. So let's get started here. Chandrayan-1 was launched in October of 2008 and reached lunar orbit in November of 2008, just a few weeks later. It was the first Indian lunar probe, making India the fifth country to reach the lunar surface. This craft was split into two, including an impactor that was designed to specifically crash into the surface, and an orbiter that would be designed to orbit and then would later be crashed into the surface. So why would you want to crash into the surface? Well, one of the things that we were looking at was for water ice on the moon. Now, water ice would not normally exist on the moon because of the lack of atmosphere, and the intense heat during the daytime on the moon would vaporize any ice that happened to be present there. The very low lunar gravity would not allow it to hold on to it as an atmosphere, so it would quickly escape out into space and be gone. So we would not expect to find it, but there are places on the moon where it is likely that water ice is present, and there's also the possibility of water ice beneath the surface where it is shielded from direct sunlight. And the other thing was to map the minerals near the poles. Now, the polar regions are where we often think water ice would be because there are some craters that are shielded from direct sunlight. So what did we find? Well, there was water found on the moon, and here we see mapping from the Moon Mineralogy Mapper, where we can see the blue is where the absorption of water is present, so that there was water present there. Not in gigantic amounts, but decent amounts present, and a lot more than we had thought of a long time ago. So we did find water ice on the moon for the first time. Another thing that was discovered were lunar caves, which were lava tubes that have been discovered. And we can take an image of one of those, or actually where we see an impact that has now punched through or collapsed into an underground tunnel. What once might have been a lava tube billions of years ago, and then just was a hollow beneath the surface and eventually caved in. And we can see that below. Again, we didn't know much about the lunar activity, and this is telling us something about the volcanic activity and how lava flowed beneath the lunar surface. Now, the end of the mission came in August of 2009, not quite a year after it arrived there, and that was, as with most of these since we've looked at, a controlled impact into the lunar surface once the mission was done to really dispose of the spacecraft. Now, let's go ahead and finish up with our summary and talk a little bit about what we looked at today. And we talked about the Chandrayan-1 spacecraft launched to study our moon. It mapped our moon, searching for water ice and giving us the first detections of water ice. It also discovered caves that were old lava tubes beneath the lunar surface. So that concludes this week's exploration of the solar system video on the Chandrayan-1 spacecraft. We'll be back again next week for another exploration of the solar system video. So until then, have a great day, everyone, and I will see you in class.